Okay, so we're ready to turn the system on now. Shut off our valve. Turn on the compressor. Open the valve. We're on, so we're not using any air at the minute because the system isn't running. Electrically, I'm going to turn on the electrics to the system. So this is the power supply, which is supplying the switches, supplying the relays, supplying the solenoids. So the sheet for the operation of this machine says that whenever the start button is pressed, which is this button, then the system should move, the cylinder should move in and out and keep moving in and out until the second button is pressed. So I'll turn on the power and check what will happen. So I'm pushing the start button. So the system did move. So it went from out to in. I'll just turn it off again and put it back to the start. And so it hasn't worked correctly. So I've got to find what the issue is. So again, I've checked the condition of the cables. The cables look good. So why did it move out and not move in? So I'm going to try again. Push the start button and it works correctly. So there's something really strange there going on. I've got an intermittent fault in the system. So the first time we tried it, it went out and stopped. The cylinder moved out and stopped. All I did was reset and press start again, and this time it won't work. So I've got an intermittent fault, and some of those can be the most difficult to find. So let's see if we can do it again. Yeah, so this time I've pressed the start button, it went out again. The cylinder went out, but it didn't go in. So I have to read my circuit diagram. So use the information that you have. So here's the circuit diagram. And let's see what the issue is. So I have a self-latching circuit here. Push this start button and with a normally closed here, should bring on this relay K1. So that's the first thing. So let's check, is the relay on? So you can see there's a little green light indicating the relay is on. So that's what has allowed the cylinder to go out. My finger isn't on the button, so that means this self-latch is working correctly because the relay has stayed on. You can see the green light there, the relay has stayed on. So the next line says that 1B1 is the switch that tells us when the cylinder is fully retracted. So that's this switch. And it must have been working correctly because the cylinder did move out. And now when it moves out, this is the line which should move it in. So 1B2 should move it in. So I have now discovered by using the electrical diagram and looking at the system, I have discovered where in the system it has stopped. So it has stopped fully extended. And in the electrical diagram, it would be here. So I expect K3 to be on. K3, this relay, I expect it to be on. But when I look at the system, this is K1, it's on. K2 is not on. And K3 is not on. At this stage, I expect K3 to be on. So what can cause that? So it could be bad cables. It could be a faulty relay. And it could be a faulty switch. So this read switch or read sensor. But one of the most common things that it can be if a system has been running for a while is that a sensor has moved. So that would be one of the first things that I would check. So if I go in here and I'm very careful about what I'm doing, I'm keeping my hands away from anything that's going to move, potentially move. I want to prevent the system from actually coming in. I'm looking at this relay and I'm trying to find why it's not on. So what I'll do is I'll turn the air off to the system. If I can make things safer, I will. So now I've turned the air off to the system. I've left it on electrically because I'm not near anything that can cause me harm electrically. And I've turned off the air so that the system won't actually move. So now I'm looking in here and I'm trying to see, you see, here's a fault. This reed switch is loose. If I move the reed switch, you can hear the relay come on. So there is the problem with this, one of the problems with this system. So what I need to do is move this to the correct location and tighten it up so that it can't move. So the correct tools used to tighten up the sensor in the correct position. And after we do that, the system should run correctly. So I'll test it here to see if it runs correctly and then tighten it up. So I'm turning on the air again and the system is now running correctly. If I stop, this is the stop button. The system stops in the fully retracted position, which it should do. Start.